What's up, guys? I want to thank you so much for checking out my YouTube channel. We are going to start doing contests every single month with lucky winners and giving away Young Ambition clothing along with some other really cool prizes. So make sure you hit the subscribe button below. You have to be subscribed to be eligible to win. And I'm excited to continue giving you game-changing, relevant, tactical content that inspires you, challenges you to think different, and really helps you live a life on your terms. So subscribe below and we'll see you guys soon. Here's the simple steps. I'm going to give you the 10 steps to building an online empire, and then we can kind of dive into those. But I want to keep it more broad and answer your questions. So the first thing is knowing the steps. That's the first part. Second part is understanding business overall and how it's changing. 3 is becoming a marketer of the doing. And then 4 is learning how to test. That's it. Right? So please pay attention to where you feel like you're lacking and where you need help, because we're going to have a conversation about it. And then I kind of want to share a little social media focus on how to make sure you're maximizing your social media presence and the importance of social media as well. So these are the simple steps when it comes to building an online empire. Now, this is not going to be deep dive on each step unless someone has a specific question. Okay. The first thing we have to figure out always is, what are you going to claim? What are you going to say is yours? And what do you want to master and be the best at? What type of niche? What type of topic? What type of industry, right? Do you want to claim and master? Now you can do multiple, but you can't do them all at once. So you got to figure out what you really want to get good at, or what you feel like is going to keep you engaged and fascinated. So when you claim and master your topic, it's very important. It's something that you didn't learn about last week. You know there's a demand for it, but you know it's something that you have results with, you've studied, you've researched, you've interviewed people, you love it, you're excited about it, things like that. Because once again, the worst thing you can be in 2021, going into next year, the worst thing you can be is just another. Worst thing. Just another real estate agent, just another coach, just another speaker, just another social media agency, just another this, just another mortgage broker, just another course. It's just another course coming out. No, you have to figure out how to become the course, the agent, the go-to, right? And that's something that we're going to continue to discuss, but that's a big key, right? The next thing we have to do is, once you have that topic, who's already searching that topic? Who already knows about it? Who already is excited to learn more about that? So you got to pick your audience. Where does your audience hang out, right? Think about where your audience hangs out the most. Who do you have the most fun working with? That's a question. Who do you have the most fun working with, right? That's a huge key. Now, when you start picking your audience, then you have to figure out, by asking your audience, what are their problems and their ambitions? Now, this is a framework to build a 7-figure empire, guaranteed, if you understand it and you put the time behind it, right? What are their problems and ambitions? A lot of people market just to problems. That's kind of old school. Now you need to market to their ambitions and to where they want to go, right? And here's something you need to think about. You don't know. They do. Your customers are marketing geniuses. I've said this before, but I don't think people conceptualize. Your customers are marketing geniuses. So you have to figure out and ask them what they want, what their problems are, what are their ambitions, what do they lay in bed at night thinking about, what are they Googling, what have they already tried that they failed at, why'd they fail, right? Who are they following? Who are they studying? That's the stuff you need to do. This is real due diligence. About 3 years ago, I was giving a speech in Dubai at the Atlantis. They paid me pretty hefty and they flew me first class to Dubai. And I'm nervous before every speech. That's just natural. I could do 1,000 speeches. I'm nervous. For some reason, I wasn't nervous. And my mom, I flew my mom out because she's never been to Dubai. And I flew my camera crew out and some of my friends. So I'm not nervous. I go up there. I don't feel nervous. It's the strangest thing. I give my speech. I feel like I kill it. And there was kings and the CEO of United Emirates was there, princes, all kinds of successful and powerful people, about 2,800 in the crowd, I believe. And I get off the stage. I feel like I killed it, got some great feedback. Months go by and I'm like, why wasn't I nervous? That doesn't even make sense. And I realized why. I was so nervous prior that I did so much due diligence and so much research and so much back and forth with the coordinators and with some of the people there to figure out who their audience was, what they needed, why they hired me. They hired me instead of Brian Tracy because they wanted, I guess they said, young energy. I found out exactly what they needed. And I did my due diligence. I prepped like crazy. I continued to go back and forth. I studied my speech 100 times, right? That's why. So I started realizing if pressure creates anxiety, you haven't prepared enough. Same thing with this, right? Due diligence. The more due diligence you do, the easier everything becomes. And I think of that because I didn't know why it was so fun and easy, but it was all the prep work before. So now building a brand is super fun and easy for me. I love it. Influence is becoming easier because of all the due diligence. So don't ask your audience one question and be done and then just think and hope, right? The likelihood of the marketplace responding because you think they want something is obsolete. So that's number 3, define the audience, problems, and ambitions. Okay, number 4, you have to figure out your story. What is unique about your story? And you have to tell it in a way that connects with people. And I've said this on the call. I don't know who's listened to it. We did a 1-hour mastermind call on how to define your perfect story, like the exact steps on what you need to do, the hero, the villain, all kinds of things. And you should watch that. Okay. Figure out your story. If I was like, how'd you get into this? Most people do one or two things. One, they make it up on the cuff and they sound horrible doing it because there's no structure to it. There's no inspiration to it. There's no like story that keeps people engaged. Or 2, they throw up on you where it's like, I did this and people are like, whoa. So you want to make the story super compelling. A lot of people know, anyone big, everyone knows the Rock story, right? Everyone knows the story of how he had $7 in this. A lot of people know Gary Vee's story of the wine. It's compelling. A lot of people know stories of people that are successful. A lot of people know Oprah's story. A lot of people know Michael Jordan's story of getting cut. These are stories that create compelling engagement to people wanting to be attracted to what they do in their brand. Okay, so create your story. Why are you doing what you're doing? Right? Why did I create 6 months to 6 figures? Because I was broke. I was discouraged. I was frustrated. I was working 80 hours a week. I had nowhere to turn. And then you shift to why you created what you created, right? I'm not going to go through the whole details, but define your story. Next, you have your story, you have your topic, you have your audience, you have the problems. Now you got to create solutions. This is one of the top mistakes I see in online branding. People are trying to sell themselves, their expertise, but not the solution or outcome to the prospect's desire or the prospect's problem. So they're not selling the solution. They're selling their expertise. Like I told you, if you look up Gibson Hazard and see his story, he didn't sell anything. His work did all the talking, right? So you have to figure out, okay, how can I sell solutions to problems? What is the solution I can create? Okay. And then you got to get it online so people can see it. So what that means is if I'm like, hey, what are you good at? What are you expertise at? Oh, I'm good at this, 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 and this. What's some of your most valuable content? What are like your most valuable frameworks or stories or things you create? Okay, awesome. I should be able to go type in Instagram and Facebook and YouTube and Twitter and see your most popular content there everywhere. A lot of people aren't even known where people can't find their content if they wanted to find it, right? So you got to really make sure you put up a website. And this is something totally different, but create an opt-in page or a website, or just pick a social media platform to dominate and then pick the next one. And then start campaigning your content, post and promote free content. Anthony talked to me, I don't know when that was, Anthony, 6 months ago, maybe 7, 8 months ago. And he said, I want to start selling stuff. I'm like, you could, and you'll make some money, but I don't think you're ready. I want you to create some more raving fans. If you want to charge more, and be positioned at a higher level, and you want to really reach more people, the things you're going to charge for, give away. Now, what this is going to do is going to make people raving fans, and then it's going to force you to create better and bigger content that's more compelling and gets people better results. And as you just heard, now he's getting clients everywhere, right? Because he's giving such great value. Your philosophy should be to give better free content than people charge for. So start campaigning and putting out free content and streamlining it, right? And then start campaigning your products and programs. Now, once you put out the free content and you create this raving fan base, now you're asking them what they want, what they need. You're paying attention. You're looking at the comments. You're seeing what they're frustrated about. You're seeing common themes. Then create content and create programs and products based off that. Number 9 is get promotional partners, build alliances, build allies, okay, and build a great network of people that have similar influence that you can promote and cross promote with. You don't have to build all the content. Look up in this section. I always write down, I always have the top 10 or 15 podcasts I want to get on, the top 10 or 15 publications that have access to my audience, and the top 10 or 15 people in that niche that have audiences that I want to reach. And then I create win-win situations for those people. You want it to be a win for their audience, a win for the podcast host, and a win for you. They don't care about the win for you because remember, everyone's favorite radio station right now is WIIFM. What's in it for me, right? So you won't believe the people that reach out and say, I have this summit, I have this, I've been doing this, and I've done this, and I have all this experience, and I've done this in our company, and my family, and our company. They give me, well, it's not to me, it's to my assistant, but he's trained. They'll give me 5 paragraphs about them and what they're doing. And not one thing in the email is how much what's the reach? What's their budget? What are they paying us? What's in it for us? And I'm not a selfish person, but you have to value the person that you're reaching out to and their time, right? So always think what's in it for them. That's what most people are thinking. What's in it for them? Okay. So get promotional partners and over deliver and add value to them. And then it's just focusing on distinction, focusing on narrowing in on what your niche is and what you're going to be the best in the world at, focusing in on consistent customer service, exceeding expectations, and consistently innovating and reinventing yourself, right? That's the process. That really is the process. And each thing has bullet points, right? But figure out where you're stuck. Figure out where you're jolted, right? Have you mastered your topic? Have you put in enough time? Have you picked your audience? Do you know the audience's problems and ambitions? Have you defined your story? Have you created multiple solutions? Do you have a website where you can capture people's emails and opt-ins? Are you campaigning and promoting consistently your content? Do you have products and programs you're creating? Do you have partners that can cross-promote with you? And are you focused on consistent, excellent customer service, exceeding expectations for your customers, and reinventing yourself every year or two, right? If you're not, that's probably why you're not where you can be or where you should be. And this doesn't mean make a lot of money right away. Building a brand takes time. It takes a lot of due diligence, a lot of free content, a lot of hours put in, and you have to respect and value the number one. And what I mean by that is never forget the worth of one live viewer, one comment, one like. The only way to get to 100 likes is to respect the one like. The only way to get to 1,000 people loving your stuff or comments or sharing is to respect when there was only 50 and realize they're human beings. If you can touch one human being, they might tell someone else and it just continues to build. And that's what really good entrepreneurs do is they continue providing goodwill and value. And they don't think, okay, when can I get something from them? They don't think about that. They think in terms of, okay, I need to provide a solution to this problem I'm seeing a lot. Okay, if this solution is going to help them with peace of mind, with marketing, with their positioning, it's going to save them about 30 hours a week. It's going to make them probably an extra 30% of their income. I think it's fair to charge $1,000 a month. Perfect. They're not like, oh, I feel bad charging. They're like, no, this is worth $1,000 a month. And then once we get into marketing, you'll realize the power of knowing exactly what you're worth and how to charge what you're worth, right? So Those are the 10 steps. Put it simply. And if you want to know kind of how to figure out what your position in terms of value is, you have to figure out one of these. There's, I think, 9 or 10 things. So how do you know if your position's valuable, or how do you know if you can become an expert in your space? There's something I wrote down a while back. I'm trying to find it. And these are the 10 things that you need to think about. Here it is. Oh, I have the defining your story right here. Let me find these. I think this is worth it. I wasn't going to share this, but I think it's worth it now. Okay, here we go. So this is what makes your brand differentiated and valuable. It's not all these things. It's picking some of them. Here's what makes your position valuable. Your experience and your unique perspective on a subject or on the topic that you want to dominate. How well you simplify and synthesize your content and systemize your content. How well you simplify and put out content. Some of the people don't have a lot of experience and they only create content. Some content that is so simple and systemized gets millions and millions of views because it's simple and systemized. How consistent you are in the marketplace. That's a big one. How many places you are in the marketplace. How current and relevant your brand feels. How many raving fans and advocates you have. How long you've been adding value. And then your energy, your passion, and your authenticity for what you do. Which ones of those have you mastered? I used to rate myself in each one of those. Okay, I'm a 6 out of 10. I'm a 2 out of 10. I'm a 1 out of 10. I'm a 10 out of 10. I need to get all of these to at least an 8 out of 10 before I feel like I can call myself the leading authority, right? And that's how you become confident versus feeling like an imposter. I don't know if I should be teaching this. Well, if you think that, maybe you shouldn't if you haven't put in the work, right? But the confidence comes through the due diligence and through the actual consistent hard work and consistent creation of content. Hey, what's up? And thank you for watching this video. If you enjoy this video and this content, make sure you hit the subscribe button below, put the notifications on, and I assure you, you'll love this content and these videos.